is when a question asks for impact of A on B. B is your dartboard. All of you, right, starting today, if you haven't already done it, you should maintain a list, right? So this is a dartboard list, right? In that dartboard, you need to know if a question asks you for impact on consumers, what do you consider? If they ask you for impact on producers, what then do you consider? Impact on society, impact on government, impact on the market. All right, it is not ambiguous. We need to be very clear, right? What are these things referring to? Society can also be social welfare. Okay. So the way I'm going to split the dartboard will be a standard way. Okay, so next year I won't suddenly change the way I split the dartboard and tell you, no, I didn't say that. Okay, so you can hold me to this, which is what I'm going to show you, right? But the question is asking you for impact on consumers. Okay, what you took away from demand and supply would allow you to examine what happens to consumer surplus. Okay, the impact on consumers should be read in terms of impact on consumer surplus. Full stop. Okay. If you still have last week's handouts, Hua Chong, question 3A. They had this essay question, okay, where they asked for impact on consumer surplus. Later I'll run through some parts of this, okay? But you went on to market structure because we are all doing H2 econs here, right? So under market structure, we picked up two more things. Do you know what they are? Consumer surplus and choice. Very good. Choice, aka variety, and one more. Also ends with a T. Okay, not helping, quality, right? Quality. Do you remember dynamic efficiency leads to better quality, hence benefiting consumers, right? Yeah. Okay. So this is what we will learn, this is what we'll learn in the final chapter next year, or in the first chapter next year. Okay. National income, I should spell it out because it's new, right? National income. When you study national income, you can add in one more thing. Standards of living. And of course, how do you analyze standards of living? We have a different framework. It's not your market structure, it's not your demand and supply framework, it's a different one. It's called ADAS diagram. Okay, so that will come in next year. This is standard, it's never going to change. Okay? So, in J2, if they ask you impact on consumers, that also means the question can cross over. Microecons, macroecons, they can mix it up, and then you have to consider different things. Okay, so crossovers are not just in the Marvel universe, okay? Econs, micro and macro, they can mix them up, right? Producers. If you're analyzing impact on producers, we know that producers are affected by revenue, that's from demand and supply. And from market structure, we know cost. So revenue minus cost equals to profits. Is there a macro perspective? Don't have. It will remain like this throughout your syllabus. Okay, so that should give you a measure of assurance. Society. Society under market failure is really efficiency, primarily allocative efficiency. And some of you mentioned equity earlier. Yeah, equity, you can park it here. Okay? But if you're looking at market structure, it's a bit broader. Market structure, efficiency becomes three things: AE, PE, DE. Okay? And equity. Okay. And now I will put down a special highlight between consumers and society, between one and the third point, right? If you know for sure this is a market structure question. If it's a market structure question like they're asking, is market power desirable for consumers? Okay, it is okay to mix consumer and societal dartboards. So if the question is asking whether market power is desirable for consumers, other than surplus, variety, and quality, you can talk about efficiency and equity. Which means if you throw in the word equity, even though the question is about consumers, you will not be penalized. It's accepted. Okay, some of you might have heard of that. That's why some of you were saying, hey, equity should be discussed under consumers. That's only for market structure. Okay. Likewise, when they ask you what's the impact on society, you can talk about surplus. Why is it okay? Because under market structure, consumers and society, they are in the same boat. Okay? If you say, oh, EOS, good for consumers. Oh, dynamic efficiency, good for consumers. Chances are society is also somewhere there benefiting. Okay? So you can mix them up, but only here. Are there any questions? You okay? Okay, good. Now, when I ask you for impact on the government, right now, based on what you have studied, we just keep it to micro goals. Okay, so microecons, you just keep it to your micro objectives. And what might the micro objectives be? Efficiency and equity. Okay, but when you finally do macroecons next year, okay, you're going to consider macro objectives. And this is where I would like to digress a little bit, okay, to give you an idea of what to expect next year. A lot of students will find themselves performing even better in macroecons. Okay, macroecons is easier to understand. It's what you read in the newspapers. Oh, China is slowing down. Oh, US is launching